You really let your gun fall in the porta potty? Are you about to grab it or what?
I have scoured the interwebs for this week's gun fails. It seems like the gun fails videos do pretty decent. Of course, I did have a commenter tell me earlier this week that I shouldn't call it gun fails, I should call it people fails, because, you know, they always blame the gun during a shooting and they never blame the person. Well, here I am blaming the gun in the fails. No, it's the people. So, the highlight that brought you here, gun fails. Don't drop your gun in the porta potty.
You really let your gun fall in the porta potty? Are you about to grab it or what? Get it.
Bullshit.
I'd be pretty upset too.
You grab it?
Can I grab it?
Bro, you got gloves. You got gloves.
No, I don't. I got gloves to make my hands warm. I'm not about to dig in no porta potty.
I'm not touching that shit.
I'm not getting it. Don't got nothing to do with me. I'm saying you should get. You should get it. I don't care.
The nasty shit.
That gun don't have nothing to do with me.
So a common term that people like to throw around is universal background checks. This right here is not a universal background check. This is a universal gut check. So let's go see if he ever gets his gun out of the porta potty. Well, let me stop it real quick. So this fellow's pants are barely secured. He is wearing an actual belt, but if you'll notice, this gun is laying in the porta potty, not in any kind of holster. There's a point that I've made in the past. If you have the money for a gun, if you have the disposable income to own a gun, you need to be able to properly secure that firearm. It doesn't take much. A minuscule holster, you know, even Uncle Mike's holster, the little nylon holsters, I think they might be like $15 adjusted for inflation now. That's better than nothing. So let's go back to our fella here.
Hell no. They can have that.
You
Those
gotta
bags
get
are
it.
hardly waterproof.
You really about to leave it?
No, come on, man. Come on. If you're not grabbing it, come on.
I don't care.
I'm not touching that.
I'm not getting it.
So that is actually quite funny. The fact that he walked away and left that gun, his problem solver is still laying in the porta-john. You know, could you imagine being the next guy that comes along, you just look down in there and it's like, oh my goodness, man. You know, I know that gun is probably just nasty. I wouldn't want to be the dude that cleans it out. You know, it's down there in that antiseptic stuff, but oh, golly bum, is it still nasty. So our next one here, it's called shooting a switch out the window. Whoa! Shot the switch in the window. That dude was almost, I bet that bullet whizzed by the side of his daggum head. Just keeping the rent low. There's a freaking bullet hole in the ceiling there. So one literally went outside, one came inside. I do not know how we didn't see shattered glass. So this happens really fast. Let's watch this again. Now here's the next one. We're at the range, and I don't want to sound like a Puritan, but I want to say, when you got your guns out, put your cleavage up. So right here, this lady, she decides she's going to fire one, and she's going to catch one.
We don't.
And negligent discharge.
We don't.
And here goes the range officer. He's going to go secure that thing. So she almost found herself a toe short. So now let's move on to the next one. So some time ago, I'm not going to call any site to this dude's name because I don't really want to give his video publicity. What this video was it was just a hit piece on firearms ownership in America. Colion Noir did an excellent job. I'll actually leave a link to Colion Noir's video down below. He debunked that video hardcore. But of course, this guy debunks himself. This is not just a fail on his part, this is an editorial fail. So his editor left this in there. So let's go ahead and watch this.
As a kid, I would go out into the forest and like blow up like glass bottles with shotguns.
That's what I think America is all about.
Like this is I don't handle guns. Like I held a gun like this for the first time like 2 days ago. For the very first time in my life. No way.
Yes.
Actually.
I'm an American.
Yeah. I was about to.
So which one is it, dog? Did you used to blow up bottles when you were a kid, or did you just touch a gun like this for the first time in your life? Like I said, Coleon Noir tore that video all to pieces, and here this guy is in that video tearing himself all to pieces. Once you contradict yourself like that, I really do not see a whole lot of credibility in anything you've got to say. So now this next one isn't necessarily a fail, but it is a business venture that I do not see succeeding.
To set up the gun, you register your face and fingerprints on this device in less than a minute, where you can also add and delete other users.
Woo! There you go.
That Navy SEAL you see before you is holding a gun made by BioFire. Its very, very big claim is that it's the first company to make a smart gun that actually works. That's right. James Bond style.
Shaken, not stirred.
Fingerprint and facial recognition. The gun only fires if the right person is holding it.
It knows somebody's holding on to it, but no matter how much it pulls the trigger, nothing's going to happen because the system is not unlocked.
The person who started BioFire is Kai Klupfer. He's all of 25 years old and has been working on making this gun for 10 years.
I think you should quit now, while you still have plenty of time to figure out a better business venture. You know, I really don't see a market for that because, quite frankly, a lot of people struggle with a firearms purchase, let alone a firearms purchase that is attached to a daggum, the technology that would be in a smartphone. I've got biometrics in this. I wake this phone up with my thumbprint and all sorts of stuff. So, yeah, while that is not necessarily a fail, I just don't see it as being a success. And now our next clip is going to come from Houston, Texas. This is an absolute massive fail. Now, I've driven this highway. This highway is actually really nice, and I've got a $12 toll ticket sitting down on my desk. I actually need to go and pay. Seemed like it just didn't want to do it through mobile, so I'm going to have to sit down and do it through desktop. But apparently, I've like I said, I've traveled this section, this interstate here, all the way around the city. And, there's tolls, and they're taking your picture, and they'll do the plates and all that right there. So, I mean, it's a pretty well cared for highway. But apparently, from what the locals said, this is actually a pretty bad spot for getting pinched off and kind of getting railroaded. So here we're going to get just a dude that's minding his own business. He's going to be traveling down the highway. And then here comes a dude that's just going to decide to cut him off. So now, our defender of the highway is going to take his Ford Platinum. I'm sorry if you own a Platinum anything. I swear, Platinum it places you like a BMW driver. There's an old saying, if you ever feel worthless, imagine having a job installing blinkers on a BMW because they're not going to get used. That goes the same with Platinum, and I said this to my brother-in-law, I'm sorry, bud, but I was like, dude, once you turn Platinum, you never turn back into an actual decent driver. But now this guy, what he's going to do is he is going to just he's going to rush in front of this guy. He's going to nail those brakes, and he's going to cut this guy off. Have you ever sat in traffic and wondered how the traffic started? Well, this right here probably took a little while to clear up because he's blocking a whole lane at a busy interchange. So now our Tundra driver here is stuck. Here comes our defender of the highway, got his gun in his hand. Well, that right there might just be worthy of catching one. If you approach me and you've got a gun already in your hand, I'm pretty sure that would go straight to stand your ground laws because this gun is being brandished. It's not in a holster, and yeah, so our defender of the highway, I really need to go and dig and see if our defender of the highway got pressed any charges because right here is video evidence of him. Yeah. No excuse for being lazy and cutting somebody off. You saw that sign 2 miles ago, just like he did, just like I did. There's no reason to go cutting anybody off, but of course there's no reason to take it in your own hands. I've said it before, gun on, pride off. You really do need to humble yourself when you're out with a gun. So now I hope you've enjoyed this video, and maybe I've earned your subscription. I'm going to leave a link down below to a video that didn't get watched. I did a historical breakdown on the assassination attempt of Teddy Roosevelt. I put a lot of work into this video, and I just really could not get you guys to watch it. The guys that watched it were like, wow, that's an excellent video, but I just couldn't get y'all to click past that thumbnail. So, if you would, please go check that out. Anyway, y'all have a wonderful day. We'll see you next video. I love you, and we don't love gun fails.